Hi Stampers, it's me Danielle. This is my first video. My son Joe, who's now 15, knows how to do all this fancy stuff, so I thought it was time for me to jump in on the action and share some tips and techniques for you by video. I hope you enjoy it. Today I'm going to share with you this card that we made in August Stamp Club. It's actually a case, which means I copied it from someone else, and it's a case of a demonstrator named Dawn Olszewski. She is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I just absolutely love this card. It's called an easel card because after the recipient opens it, it actually props up to stand for display. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's begin. Okay, to get started making this card, what you need is, well, you can use any stamp set, but I used this Flower Fest stamp set, which was featured in our Summer Occasions mini catalog and now has made it into the new idea book and catalog. I also used my Big Shot and several dies. I used the Scallop Circle die, and you're going to need to cut out one from that, but we will be using it again for the card, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. We're also using this that's called the Scallop Circle number 2 die. We are only going to be using this one piece. And also we're going to be using the clear circle die. Now I've gone ahead and cut out the black circle, but I wanted to show you something about this die. See, it's clear. It's great that if you want to maybe place this over a photograph for your scrapbooking needs, you can see exactly what you're placing this circle over. And you go ahead and cut it out. What you want to be careful though is when it cuts, that circle image may sink down into the die itself, but you want to really be careful. Don't try to dig it out, because remember, this is a cutting blade here. So what they've done is they've put this handy dandy hole there for you to pop it out and not get cut. So you can see how at least the design of the image is coming together with my scallops and my circles. And of course I'll show you the stamping and the fun bow. But let me show you how to make the card itself. I've taken a piece of cardstock and folded it in half. Of course this is 5.5 by 8.5, our standard card size. The color I'm using today is Melon Mambo. I've made a nice crease like you would anytime you're using a card or making a card. And I'm going to go ahead and use the Big Shot. Now I have the scallop die, and what I want to do is put the crease at the top of the die so that just a few little scallops are showing. The most important thing is that you have the bottom of the card covering the bottom scallops. So let me move that down a little bit, and I have just a few on the top showing. I make my standard sandwich with the clear cutting pads, the die, the cardstock, and again the clear cutting pads. Go ahead and work through the Big Shot, just a few cranks, and you'll see what happens here is you have your card with a crease in it, so you didn't cut 2 scallops. The next thing we're going to do is put the card together. So I have my single scallop and the folded card scallop. What I want to do next is fold this. It's almost a little more than halfway. Let me show you what I do. Before I make a crease, I start to fold it upwards, but I'm going to turn it over this way because again, I want to make these scallops match up on either side and only a few scallops showing at the top. Now that I have it where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and crease that. Okay, so again, this was my original card. I folded that upwards, and now I'm going to take this single scallop, match it up, and we're going to glue those 2 pieces together. When I really want a strong bond on a card like this, it's going to have some motion to it, I'm going to use the Tombow multi-purpose glue. It's like White Elmer's glue, but it's really strong. You can use it for adhering metal, like our Hodgepodge hardware, okay, and buttons. It's great. So I would say it's a little stronger than your normal white glue. So only on that flap. Whoops, you want to make your scallops meet. And then of course you're going to want to set it aside so that it dries. But here you can see the makings of your card. It will open, and it does fit into a standard size envelope, and also it will be propped open. Now for the pretty decorations. I know you all know how to stamp, so I'm not going to waste your time with how to. However, I'd like to show you a couple little tricks here. From the Flower Fest set, I used this pretty little rose. I have stamped it in Versamark ink, and I've embossed it with our Melon Mambo embossing powder. Now, just to add a little bit of dimension, I'm going to do a very quick and simple technique called burnishing. I have our sponge dauber. I have a coordinating ink. This is Pink Pirouette cardstock and the same color ink. And I'm just going to, again, get a little bit of ink on my dauber and just do a quick rub in the center of my flowers. Just a little bit will make those pop. You can either cut these out by hand or use the 1 1/4 circle punch that will fit this. That's what I like about that Flower Fest stamp. It has 5 different stamps in it that coordinate with 5 different punches that Stampin' Up! Sells. So you could use the 1 1/4 circle to just punch this out, and then take your paper snips and get in there in those little triangles, and you'll have these cut out in no time. Also, I stamped the leaves. It's a single leaf stamp. I put 2 together here, and a single. I embossed those in the new Wild Wasabi embossing powder. And when I cut them out, just a helpful hint, because these leaves are eventually going to be attached behind the little rosettes, why not make it easier on yourself and cut yourself a little tab. No one will see it. Okay, you'll finish cutting those out, but no one will see it, and that way you can stick it right up under the flowers with some adhesive. Add those to the front of your card with a greeting. You might also want to add a greeting to the upper part of the inside scallop. But now we need something to prop it up for the easel card. Now, a lot of you don't like to tie bows, I know that. So online I found a video for this easy little scrunch bow. Let me show you how to make it. Now I'm using our wide ribbon, and you need about 9 inches of ribbon. And what you need to do is fold this in thirds. Someone on a video explained this, and I thought it really made sense to me, and that was to pretend that it is a woman's shawl or wrap going around her shoulders. Okay, so you have it in thirds. I also have a rhinestone brad that I've opened up all the way, and I have it ready to go. Because the next thing I'm going to do is take and just scrunch this bow from the top in between. I got to do it with my right hand, sorry. And scrunch it like that. And you put it on top of your brad that's laying there waiting for you. But at this point I'm not going to wrap it around. I'm just going to bring the legs of the brad straight up and straight up. And I'll hold it, and oh, I need to tweak this bow a little bit. But here's the stage where you can play with it and fix it. Okay, flop that ribbon the way you want it to go so it looks a little bit nicer. For time's sake though, I'm going to move on. Okay, so I have that ready to go. I have my card base, my paper piercer, get an idea of where I want this bow to be. Using the spongy mat below, I'm going to make a nice hole in there for the brad. The brad's going to go in, and I just squish it right into the mat. That's a little tip that my friend Denise shared with me a long time ago. And then you'll open it up. Of course, yours will go a lot easier than mine is going right now. And that's how it works. Now that's a bad bow, so let's go back to that original club sample. And there you have it, an easel card using Flower Fest. Thanks for watching the first video.